I've walked it and then watched the horses on it. It's soft, good to soft in places. Obviously, you know how much rain they've had, excessive amount of rain. But we're in a period now of hopefully 48 hours of drying weather. A bit more rain last night, but you know, it'll improve all the time. So I think we very much feel we're here. It's the horses to retire after this race, and Mr. Oppenheimer's here, and you know, we're very clear that we plan to run. It's not without the rain, but that's life. The horse did a nice canter on it this morning. Didn't want to do any more than that. You know, he handled it well. Wouldn't have been in love with it, but he was professional enough around there, and he was happy with it. So we are exactly where we are.
As an outsider looking in, it's hard to believe it can dry out so quickly. But all the locals tell us that this is a track that could easily be good by Saturday if there was no more rain.
There's a chance it could be, you know, on good to soft, good side. There's very much a chance of that. It is sand-based, but it has had an enormous amount of rain, and it tends to run down towards the inside naturally because there's a camber on the track all the way around. It's a nicely banked track, so you'd expect the inside to ride a little slower.
He's had so many races this season. How hopeful can you be that he's still at that absolute peak?
Well, I've always said that of all the horses I've ever trained, he's probably had the greatest constitution. He's grown this year. He was 15.3 and a half beginning of the year. He now stands 16.2, nearly a half. So he's grown nearly 3 inches this year. He's filled out his frame. He flew here to America weighing 2 kilos heavier than when he flew to Paris for the Arc. So he's put all that back, trained, and you don't mind tramping them a little bit heavy because dehydration and everything else. But he's in great order. He's raced hard all year, trained properly all year. He only missed one race because it rained 1.5 inches before racing the King George, so he hasn't exactly had a mini break, if you like. But overall, he's just been able to thrive on his training. He enjoys his training, and he's like a kid. He gets easily pulled.
History of the Breeders' Cup tells us that European horses can often miss the break. In stall 1, how much of that is a worry for you if he doesn't ping the boxes?
Well, obviously, it's, you know, American horses are known to be very fast in the game, and that is their game. Belgians. So, you know, but I leave it up to Frank. He's a lot of experience in Breeders' Cup races. He's won enough of them, and he's won them for me. So, to that extent, I leave that to the jockey. Fretting over those issues.
And he runs Lasix free. Without going into all the technicalities, if you get beaten a short head by a horse with Lasix, how frustrated a trainer would you be afterwards?
I wouldn't be. I mean, this horse has never shown anything that you'd want to be considering such a thing. You know, like Andre Fabre, it's nice to run them naturally, and he's never had a need of anything, and if that happens, it happens. You're here under the rules you're here under. We chose not to use any medication of any sort. We're happy with that.
Found is an obvious danger, but other than that, would you be massively disappointed if he couldn't come out on top? I mean, he is a Derby and an Arc hero. He really ought to win this race, John.
Yeah, on the form, of course he should, but the track's riding a little loose this morning with the rain, and we don't know if he's going to perfectly handle that. It is a tight oval. He's never raced a tight American oval, as you know well yourself, watching American racing. You know, those horses are very efficient around these tracks. They're on their off four, they switch to their near four on the bend, come out of the bend, switch back to their right four, off four, and they have little gears around these tracks. And, you know, it's always demanding for our horses to come here and race under those conditions, but you know, he's still only a 3-year-old. I always would prefer in these big races to be coming here with a 4 or 5-year-old for a race like this. He is still 3, and to that extent